Welcome to another budget build, here on Diecast Overhaulin'. For today's project, I have these two models. I will try to create a military wrecker truck from these two diecast, and infusing some scrap materials to complete this project. This is a jungle crawler, made by Matchbox. This model was inspired by Dodge WC-53 Carryall. Matchbox produce few color variation of this model. I also created few military vehicles out of this model. And this model with plastic chassis, is a mover's crane truck, produced by Majorette in 1980. I will now go on with the tear down. Firstly removing the rivets by drilling. Then doing same procedure with the other model. These are the parts that will be washed with soap and warm water, while both bodies of the diecasts will be soaked into paint stripper. After a few minutes soaked in paint stripper, this is how they look. There are few remaining paint in some areas of the crane. I will just manually pick those paints. Now I will draw a line on both diecasts to determine where to cut. I made my cut after the B-pillar of the jungle crawler. Then, I took the winch mechanism from the crane operator's cabin. For the crane truck head, I made my cut before the B-pillar, to salvage the rear portion of the cab. The cowl of the jungle crawler will be glued to the back section of the crane. Then, the winch will be placed behind the truck head. I need to mark the materials to be removed, to have a seamless joints between the cowl and the truck bed. These will be done through series of filing and fitting. I made a hole at the back portion of the truck, to create an opening for the rear window. I will use round needle file, to enlarge the hole, and achieve the appropriate shape. This is the rough shape of the rear window, after filing. It still needs some refinement. I made this improvised jig, to have a better alignment when I glue them together. For the winch to fit in, I will make a mark and do a tiny notch. I used flat needle file to create the notch. Then file it down bit by bit, to fit in nicely. I salvaged this part from junk Matchbox wrecker pickup. It still has its tow bar and hook. I will trim this down, to fit in the bed of my project. After gluing the cowl and the bed in the jig, rear parts of the plastic interior was cut off, to fit inside the truck. For the chassis, section from each original chassis of the two diecasts will be cut. I will need the front part of the jungle crawler, and rear for the crane, then they will be grafted together. This is now the two chassis, glued as one. I used epoxy for extra strength, since the plastic chassis from the crane is a bit thin. I cut both sides of the bed from wrecker pickup, to fit in the recess portion of the project's bed. This is the winch mechanism I made. I cut front bumper with reel from a plastic truck model, and glued it to the winch motor I salvaged from the crane. To complete the winch assembly, I salvaged this two reels from junk service truck. I will be using one of them. It will be reshaped and inserted in the middle of the winch. This is now the finished winch assembly. I will be using this nylon line from a price tag, to mimic the winch cable. It will be threaded to the reels in the winch. I made a mistake while doing this project. I applied heat in the tow hook to reshape it, but I ruined it. So, I made one, out of strand from aluminum cable. After threading the line, I made a pulley. I used materials from disposable lighter parts. To complete the under chassis, I used parts of ball pen, to create wheel axle housing for the front wheels. For the rear wheels, I used parts from plastic models. It runs smoothly. To have additional detail, I took the toolboxes from the remains of the service crew truck, where I salvaged the winch reel. I will put in on top of the bed, beside the tow bar. This is the initial mock-up. I added lever control for the winch, aligned with the toolbox. On the other side of the bed, I made the spare wheel carrier, from the remaining part of the wrecker pickup bed. I will be installing 2 cylinders for oxygen and acetylene torch, that is made of plastic scraps. I also bought cheap fancy necklace for the towing chains. The winch assembly, and the tow bar with the tow hook, are already glued. After installing the other accessories, this project is ready for paint job. This is now my military Dodge wrecker truck, built with towing apparatus, and equipped with repair gears, ready for rescue. If you enjoyed watching this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing for more videos of my builds. Always remember, if you cannot buy them, build them. See you on my next project. Thanks for watching.